Here to discuss is Lima attorney Jerry Pitts. Welcome, Jerry.
Good to be here.
All right, so what is expungement, first of all?
Expungement is the same as what they call sealing the record. And a lot of people, they have gotten in trouble before, misdemeanors, some felonies, and then they call me and they say, well, can I get this expunged? Well, what they don't understand, and what most people should, is if it has to deal with the law, it's probably got 29 or 30 exceptions to the rule as to if you can get your record sealed. Mm-hmm. And what's the function of it? Normally, people who want to get their record sealed, or what they call expunged, most people call it sealed, is to, if you, for instance, you got a shoplifting case when you were just 21. And then while you were shoplifting, then you resisted arrest. And then on top of that, you might have assaulted somebody, trying to get away from that incident. Now, technically, those are 3 misdemeanors. The question is, and what people don't understand is that any act of violence, per se, can't be expunged. Now, maybe the resisting could, and maybe the theft could, but the assault maybe cannot. So therefore, what good is it going to do you to expunge that incident? Now, that's just one incident. Now, if you have a second incident like that, then it's not likely that they're going to allow that, simply because it does no good because you got another one. So what people don't understand, you can't just say, expunge my whole record. It's got to be by case, by case, by case. And how the case is blocked in will determine how it works. Now, what a lot of people don't understand, and this is why I'm just giving a broad brush here, and I want people to understand that, but to really understand if you're eligible, you really need to go talk to a professional after. But normally, if you got a misdemeanor, you can't expunge it until a year after it's done. Felonies is 3 years after. That's after you have done all your probation, you've done everything you were supposed to do, and therefore, now some judges, they won't expunge it because if you haven't paid all your fines and costs. Now that it's not supposed to be that way as to fines and costs, but, you know, when it comes to money, you know how that works. So now what people don't understand is, let's say you're lucky enough to even get it expunged. Okay. Now people are going to say, well, you can technically say, well, I didn't create or do that particular crime. Now, without getting in trouble. However, it can still show up because for law enforcement and others, prosecutors for sentencing, judges for sentencing, it's going to come up. And lots of times, employers go through law enforcement to find out things, and it might show up even though you have expunged it, and even though it's technically supposed to be clear, not there. However, it is. Yeah. So you should always keep a copy of that, and I would think you should be almost forthwith with your potential employers saying, this happened, but I did get it expunged, and if it should show up, here's a copy of my paperwork for that.
Yeah, there's lots of variables with this, Jerry, sounds like. So
yes.
You need to see somebody to get the right, information, I would think, right?
Right,
yeah,
right.
So.
And it's so technical, but it's possible. Like I said, when it comes to the law, look for 30 exceptions. So what may be not good today is perfect for tomorrow.
Right. So we're going to do probably a round 2 on this one. Get more in depth as well.
A little more in depth, and I can explain those steps that you need to look at even before you even consider it.
All right. Well, Jerry, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, don't go away because medical news is coming up next.